Hello everyone, I'm HP Customs, and this is my custom-made Marvel Legends MCU stylized Wolverine. Before we get things started, I want to give a big thank you to a guy on Reddit by the name of Core Collector, or Corpse Collector, whatever it is, you know who you are. He helped me expand my setup, so I got a lot more room now. You can see the whole figure in one shot. So with that said and done, we can move into the actual figure itself. If you couldn't tell by the title, the gist of this custom is a Wolverine that would fit in with the MCU style, I guess. If you guys saw this custom on Reddit a while back, you'll remember that everything you see that was yellow was like a dark blue. Everything you see that was blue was yellow. Had it kind of inversed, because I was too scared, honestly, to do the yellow tiger stripe. But after a while I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. So in order to capture that tiger stripe look, but in a more realistic design, I chose to opt for a few different things. One, I wanted his pants to look more tactical, which I'll get into later what exactly the recipe of all this is, but yes, the pants more tactical, combat boots, instead of just like tall gloves, he's got these black bracers along with the blue gloves, tactical belt instead of just a little tiny comic book belt, and then the chest, the tiger stripe look, the little black lines are all designed to be straps that go around to the back as well, that pull up into this harness. If you know the Captain America figure, you'll recognize these straps, but the sculpting goes all the way through down here. And then to top it all off, we've got the classic helmet and a giant red X on the chest. Now I chose to go with this big red X on the chest for a couple reasons. The first reason was that I just wanted to differ from the little circular X logo, which will come up in a little bit, not in this video but in future customs. And also I wanted to take a new approach with the X logo. I didn't want it to be the entire chest like the early 2000s movies, but I wanted it to be big. I wanted it to be noticeable. So I sculpted this giant X on his chest within his little uniform right here. And then another thought occurred to me. How do I make it even more obvious than it already is? Well, you've got this whole array of colors on him. You've got yellow, you've got blue, you've got black, you've got bits of brown in the belts and on the boots. A little bit, if you can see that, I don't even know. You got white for his eyes, but there's no red. Well, I mean, obviously there's red right there, but that's the point. You got this, I would say bright, but it's kind of a dark red. You've got this red just blazing out of the chest. And I did that for a couple reasons. I mainly did it just so that it would stand out like I've been talking about, but if you think about the comic mythology of these characters, they're mutants, they're different, they stand out, and the X-Men are supposed to represent that. They're supposed to be different than your regular teams, they're supposed to stand out. And so I thought, hey, that'd be cool to bring that right back into the logo that's right on the center of his chest. It's bright, it's red, it stands out, just like the X-Men themselves. So with all that out of the way, we can move into what this figure actually is, if you're curious about what it is, or if you're trying to recreate it, or for whatever reason. So base body we've got going here, actually, yeah, alright, so base body we've got going here is a classic MCU style Captain America. Notably the Civil War cap, or the Age of Ultron cap, or Winter Soldier cap, any of those reissues. And then the hands are your newest comic Wolverine that launched with the Apocalypse Wave, and the belt is comic book Nick Fury. It's kind of funny because a lot of this recipe is also in my Deadpool, which I reviewed. Go check that out. And then helmet is actually still Captain America, just heavily sculpted. As far as actual sculpting goes on the figure, there's only two areas that are actually sculpted. The chest and the helmet. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what I did with the chest. Like I talked about in my Deadpool review, I got a Dremel, sanded all the chest down, all the stomach down. Not the back, though, because I could keep the back. And sculpted right back up. So like I said in my Deadpool review, it's good to do that if you're doing customs. You sand down, sculpt up, so that you don't have this bulk building up, which, I mean, he even looks a little bulky in the chest, but that's okay. You do what you gotta do. So yeah, sculpted all the stomach, all of this, all the black straps, logo, all that. And the helmet, I sculpted the wings, or ears, whatever you want to call them, on there. And these little mutton chops and little raccoon eyes he's got going. As far as accessories go, I've only made one. The claws are not removable, just so you know. I don't like the removable claws because they tend to swivel around and get all out off kilter. It's just annoying. I didn't make hands without the claws just because I didn't have the materials, honestly. I'm running low these days. So what I did make though is he's got an extra right hand. If I bring it in, it's your classic little trigger hand. Like you could hold a gun. You can see that he's holding a cigar. So you got your classic Wolverine, you know, the key aspect of Wolverine, you know, lung cancer. It's got his little cigar, you know, puff puff pass. Am I right? Am I right? So yeah, that's it for the only accessory, his little cigar. So you can just take that out, plug his claw hand back in, and now you've got Wolverine again. So how does he stack up to other figures height-wise? You'd be surprised. For Wolverine, that is. So if we bring in Infinity War Cap, get him standing correctly, and we pull him in, put them side by side, you can see they're same height, which makes sense because he's using a Captain America body. Not that Captain America body, but it makes sense for either of them to be the same size. Let's take him out of here. And here we've got Deadpool from our previous review. And just like I said in the last review, Wolverine's a little bit taller than Deadpool. Blasphemous, I know. But when you're using Captain America as Wolverine, naturally gets a little tall. And then lastly, here's Colossus. And he can fit in frame... No, he can't. Okay. Let's adjust. Almost fit in frame this time. Last time he couldn't fit in frame at all. But yeah, you see the height difference? It's a pretty good height difference. Colossus naturally towers over him. It's my Deadpool 2 Colossus, by the way. Review on the way. Let's get him out of here. And that about does it for comparisons. If you are familiar with those figures, then you'll naturally know how this guy stacks up. So that about does it for our Wolverine here. I hope you guys liked it. I tried to make this video a little bit shorter than the last one. The last one was like 15 minutes long. Thought that was super long, and nobody wants to watch 15 minutes worth of me rambling on about an action figure that I made. You kind of get the gist of it from looking at it for about 2 minutes. So I thought I'd shoot for not 2 minutes, but a little less than 15 minutes. Some things I wanted to point out though before we finished up. He does have no sleeves. So he's got that skin, if you couldn't tell. I know the yellow kind of bleeds in. But yeah, hope you guys like it. One thing I failed to mention on articulation is the bicep swivel doesn't work on this arm anymore because I'm an idiot. And when I heated up the joints to take them apart to sand it, I broke that joint because I didn't heat it up right. So, you learn from your mistakes, guys. Also, the paint job on this guy isn't the best. Because like I said, he was blue before, where the yellow is. And it's really hard to fix that. So I had to try to sand off the blue, put on a new primer, and do the yellow. And naturally, that just doesn't work that great. So paint job's not that great on this guy. But I think he still looks good. And I've got a project upcoming in the future that kind of includes him, but he's not going to match with the others. And there's a reason for that I'll get into in that video. But just know that there's a reason. He looks different right now. Ooh, scary. So yeah, I really hope you guys like this Wolverine. I spent a lot of time on this guy. He's a little bit older, and he's been through some stuff, so some of the paint's banged up. Some of the joints have rubbed, but that's okay. Hope you guys liked them. If you did, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, maybe even comment your thoughts, maybe even comment something you'd like to see me do. My Instagram will be linked, not leaked. It's already out there. Can't leak something that's already out there. It'll be linked in the description below, as well as a full gallery on this figure, which will also follow up my outro. So, I've been HP Customs, and I will see you guys next time.